There's a quiet shift happening in the American gun market, and most folks aren't even talking about it. While flashy pistols and tactical rifles soak up the spotlight on social media, a handful of revolvers have been steadily climbing the sales charts. No drama, no viral reviews, no celebrity endorsements, just solid steel, proven performance, and growing trust. These aren't the loudest guns on YouTube or the most photogenic for Instagram. They don't chase headlines, but the numbers don't lie. Week after week, they're getting bought, carried, and fired by shooters who care more about real-world function than internet hype. This list isn't based on guesswork or forum opinions. It comes from sales data, market reports, and patterns I've seen firsthand. Some of these Wheelguns might surprise you. Others might already be in your safe. Either way, this is the real story behind the revolvers that are quietly becoming the best-selling guns in America. First up is a name that carries weight. Not in the marketing sense, but in the cold, forged steel sense. The Colt Python, reintroduced in recent years, didn't explode onto the scene with gimmicks or noise. It returned with a simple promise. Premium craftsmanship revived, and the market took notice. The modern Python is chambered in .357 Magnum, featuring a 6-round cylinder, a ventilated rib barrel, and stainless steel construction that's been smoothed, tuned, and reinforced compared to the original. Available in 3, 4.25, and 6-inch barrels. The new production models have a beefier top strap and an improved trigger system that shows Colt wasn't interested in nostalgia alone. They rebuilt it to shoot at the bench. This revolver feels more like a precision instrument than a mass-market product. The single-action brake is clean, lighter than the factory spec suggests, and the double-action pull, though longer, is remarkably smooth. With a 6-inch barrel, recoil from standard .357 loads remains manageable, especially when shooting with a proper grip and stance. You feel the power, but it doesn't punish you for enjoying it. What makes Python interesting in this context isn't just the legacy, it's the buying behavior. Look at sales charts on platforms like Gunbroker from 2023 through early 2025, and you'll see the Python consistently sitting in the top tier of revolver sales. According to Gunbroker's May 2025 top-selling firearms report, the Colt Python was ranked as the #1 revolver sold that month. It's not marketed like a modern wonder gun, but people are still ordering them in droves, often waiting weeks for availability. Out on the range, there's a moment when it clicks. The balance, the timing, the tight lockup, it just works. It's the kind of revolver that convinces you after 3 cylinders why people are still willing to pay north of $300 for one. This isn't a wall hanger or collector's relic anymore. Shooters are actually buying it, loading it, and putting rounds through it. That's how the Colt Python is making its return, not with noise, but with quality that speaks for itself every time you press the trigger. Now for something completely different, simple, inexpensive, and oddly reliable. The Heritage Rough Rider is a revolver most serious shooters overlook at first glance. But when you dig into national sales reports, this little single-action rimfire keeps showing up near the top. It's not a fluke, it's a pattern. The Rough Rider is a single-action revolver chambered in .22 LR, often with the option of swapping cylinders to shoot .22 WMR. It typically comes with a 6.5-inch barrel, fixed sights, and a weight just over 33 ounces. Frames are made from zinc alloy while the barrel and cylinder are steel, which keeps costs down without compromising too much on longevity. Prices hover around $130 to $160, making it one of the most affordable revolvers on the market. On paper, this gun looks basic. In the hand, it's exactly that. And that's part of its charm. Loading it is deliberate. Half-cock the hammer, open the loading gate, drop in each round. That rhythm teaches new shooters patience and safety awareness. It's the revolver equivalent of a bolt-action .22 rifle, slow, steady, and reliable. Shooting it is unexpectedly fun. Low recoil, classic cowboy feel, and a trigger that, while not match grade, breaks cleaner than most people expect at this price. With decent ammo, it's surprisingly accurate out to 25 yards, especially with the longer barrel variants. Sure, the fixed sights aren't made for precision, but it'll keep cans dancing and groups respectable all day. At the range, this revolver doesn't demand attention, but it gets passed around constantly. Everyone wants to take a few shots, especially newer shooters or folks bringing their kids. It's the kind of gun you bring to a range day and never see sitting on the bench for long. Heritage has sold hundreds of thousands of these things. Gunbroker's 2024 sales summary confirms the Rough Rider remains among the top 5 most sold revolver models in its class, with strong volume continuing into 2025. And they're not collecting dust. They're getting shot, tossed in toolboxes, used for plinking, pest control, or just plain fun. It's not glamorous. It's not tactical. But the Rough Rider outsells expectations year after year by being exactly what it promises: a solid, simple rimfire revolver that works. There's a certain kind of revolver that earns its reputation not from buzz or sleek Instagram posts, but from doing a tough job in places where no one's filming. The Taurus Judge fits that mold like it was built for it. Which, frankly, it was. This revolver is chambered for both .45 Colt and .410 bore shotgun shells, and that alone sets it apart. Depending on the model, the barrel length ranges from 2.5 inches to 6.5 inches, with some versions accommodating 2.5-inch or 3-inch shells. That combination turns it into a flexible tool, one that fits equally well in a glove box, a farmhouse drawer, or a hip holster in the Deep South. Mechanically, the Judge operates like most double-action revolvers, but with slightly more heft. That extra size, however, becomes an asset when handling .410 loads. In testing with defensive .410 buckshot and .45 Colt defensive rounds, muzzle flip was present but manageable. Firing the .45 Colt loads offers a much more predictable trajectory and manageable recoil, while the .410 shells, especially from short barrels, deliver a wider pattern that works best within 7 to 10 yards. It's not a precision instrument. No one's running bullseye competitions with a Judge, but that's not what it's for. Its strength is versatility. You want birdshot for snakes? Load it. Need defensive hollow points? Done. It's the revolver version of choose your own adventure. What keeps the Judge selling, quietly but consistently, is that it solves specific problems for real people. Rural property owners like having it within arm's reach for pests or intruders. Some truck drivers carry it as a do-it-all gun. And while it might be mocked by purists online, Taurus keeps expanding the line for one reason: demand hasn't faded. On the range, the Judge gives off a certain utility vibe. Industry data from late 2024 and early 2025 indicates consistent demand for the Judge, appearing regularly in Gunbroker's top 10 revolver listings. You feel its purpose when you fire it. Not stylish, not graceful, but capable. That capability, paired with its unique chambering, has helped it build a loyal following beneath the radar. This isn't the revolver for showing off. It's the one you load up and trust when you're 15 minutes from the nearest neighbor and don't have time to miss. Some guns don't evolve, they get replaced. But every now and then, one gets redesigned so well it changes how people think about the category entirely. That's exactly what the Ruger LCR did to carry revolvers. Introduced with a radically different design philosophy, the LCR, lightweight compact revolver, ditched the all-metal frame for a polymer fire control housing, an aluminum monolithic upper, and a stainless steel cylinder. Depending on the model, it weighs in around 5 to 17 ounces, and comes chambered in calibers ranging from .22 LR and a .357 Magnum and .327 Federal Magnum. But the most popular version by far remains the .38 Special Plus P, striking a near-perfect balance of power and recoil in an ultra-compact package. On paper, it looks utilitarian, almost plain, but the magic is in the trigger. Ruger's patented cam-driven action delivers a smooth, non-stacking double-action pull that's shockingly shootable for a revolver this small. During real-world testing with standard .38 loads, follow-up shots remained surprisingly accurate, even under stress. Muzzle rise is sharp, but manageable, and with Plus P ammo, it delivers serious defensive potential. This isn't a revolver people bring to the range to impress their friends. It's the one that rides in pockets, ankle holsters, and nightstands across the country. It's the revolver someone chooses when they stop reading spec sheets and start thinking about what they'd actually want in their hand when it counts. While many polymer pistols have come and gone, the LCR has held its place, with strong demand carrying into 2025. In fact, according to recent Gunbroker trend reports, it continues to rank in the top-selling revolvers for the concealed carry market, especially among first-time buyers and seasoned carriers looking for backup firepower. The LCR isn't tactical, nostalgic, or pretty, but in the real world, it proves itself over and over as one of the smartest carry choices out there. You don't need to brag about carrying one. You just carry it. Some revolvers are built for carry, others are built for war zones. And then there's the Smith Wesson 686 Plus, which feels like it was designed to survive both. With style. This revolver is chambered in .357 Magnum with a 7-round cylinder and is available in several barrel lengths, 2.5-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch being the most common. Its stainless steel construction, full underlug barrel, and adjustable rear sights give it both the weight and balance of a serious range gun, and the toughness to absorb thousands of Magnum rounds without breaking a sweat. At the firing line, the 686 Plus feels solid in the hand, with just enough heft to tame hot .357 loads. During extended range sessions, recoil remains controlled, and accuracy tightens as the shooter settles into the rhythm of its double-action pull. The factory trigger isn't competition grade, but it's predictable, smooth, and perfectly tuned for defensive or field use. This is the revolver people take hunting, teach with, and rely on when things might go sideways in the woods. You're not just buying a firearm, you're investing in something that might outlive your grandchildren. It has that kind of reputation. In terms of market movement, the 686 Plus isn't a trendy flash, it's a foundation. Throughout 2024 and into early 2025, it has remained one of the most consistently purchased mid-frame revolvers in the US, especially among those looking for a serious .357 that isn't a snub nose or a novelty. What separates the 686 from so many other Magnum revolvers is how well it balances modern expectations with old-school durability. There's nothing experimental here, just a time-tested platform with an extra round in the chamber, and a whole lot of steel where it counts. This revolver doesn't try to be anything it's not, and for folks who value function over fashion, that's exactly why it keeps selling. Every so often, a revolver comes out of nowhere. Not from a legacy brand or backed by decades of tradition, but from a company you wouldn't expect. That's the Diamondback SDR, and its quiet rise in the market over the last year has caught a lot of people, myself included, completely off guard. Diamondback is better known for ARs and semi-auto pistols, not revolvers. But in 2024, they released the SDR chambered in .357 Magnum, and shooters took notice. It features a 6-round capacity, a full-lug 4-inch barrel, and a double-action/single-action trigger system. The frame and barrel are stainless steel, with a fiber optic front sight and rubber grips that keep it controllable even with hotter loads. What surprised me most at the range was how shootable it is for a revolver in its price bracket. The trigger is a bit stiff in double action, but it breaks clean in single. The fiber optic sight picks up quickly in daylight, and recoil is more than manageable, even with full-house .357 rounds. In rapid strings, the SDR held groups inside a fist-sized target at 10 yards, which is more than enough for defensive applications. Sales-wise, the SDR hasn't exploded in the way a viral pistol might, but it's been quietly gaining traction, especially among budget-conscious revolver buyers who still want power and reliability. Gun stores have reported steady movement since late 2024, and it started showing up more frequently in gunbroker listings in early 2025, not as a collector's item, but as a workhorse for real use. There's no vintage mystique or high-end polish here. What you get is a solidly built .357 with just enough refinement to stand out, but not so much marketing that it feels like hype. The Diamondback SDR didn't ask for attention. It earned it one range trip at a time. And if this trend keeps up, we might be looking at the next budget-class revolver that redefines expectations. There's something worth saying before we close the cylinder on this one. In an age where guns are often chosen based on trends, aesthetics, or whatever's hot in the algorithm that week, these revolvers stand as proof that substance still matters. They're not just bestsellers. They're reminders that performance, purpose, and practicality still win out over flash and noise. Whether you're new to revolvers or you've been shooting wheel guns since your granddad taught you how to thumb a hammer, it's clear these models are sticking around not because they shout the loudest, but because they do the job, day after day. If one of these made your list, or surprised you, drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And if you've got a favorite sleeper revolver we didn't mention, let's hear about it. Thanks for riding along. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp.